Install machine main body. Move the device to the fixed point according to the layout diagram of the device. Schematic location of forklift truck. Schematic location of host forklift. Schematic location of collector forklift. Terminal takeover. Wiring. Align at the plug position and connect to the servo motor aviation plug. Similarly, connect each servo aviation plug in turn. Connect the host signal aviation plug. Similarly, connect to other aviation plugs in turn. Connect the main power as required. Open the total power supply. Open the side power supply. Conducting trachea. Connect the trachea between the winding parts and the host parts. Connect the trachea of the group pressure barrel. Connect the total trachea to the unwinding part, gel pack. Connect the outlet hose of the H group pressure barrel to the H group gun. Connect the outlet hose of the bottom group pressure barrel to the bottom valve. Check after power. Servo alarm A810. Click the alarm interface. Click servo to call the police. Reset the servo drive with an alarm. Wait a minute after the power is cut and restart. Servo alarm clearance. Prepare before you click. Enabling to close the closing roll at the manual operation interface of the touchscreen. Manually pull the closing roll down away from the big drum. Turn the machine manually for 1 week without any collisions and lag. Open the servo motor to be enabled. Open the linkage switch of the servo motor that needs to be enabled, and do not open the linkage switch of the closing roll first. Press the click button to start the alarm. After 3 seconds of the alarm stops, click the click button again, and the machine operates normally. Volume release department. Automatic deviation correction system setting. Click Setup. Click Setup wizard. Click Start Setting Now. Long press phone adaptation. Click Start. The correction system begins to detect the limits. Click back after successful detection. Click the next step. Click the left and right arrow. Correction device can swing between the normal left and right. Click the next step. Select the photoelectric sensor. Click the next step. Click the next step. Change to automatic mode. Change the polarity to plus and change the gain value to 20. Double click return. Automatic deviation correction system setting is complete. English interface for automatic correction system. Click on Setup. Click Parameter Settings. Enter the password 123456. Click on Chinese, English. Complete by setting up the English interface. Automatic tension system setting. Click Setup. Enter password 0100. Select the checkout parameter. Click Setup. Select the checkout to adjust 0. Enter the 0 interface and press Setup to start setting. Click back after the detection value returns to 0. Select the weight calibration and set the weight at 25 kilograms. Pass the 25 kilogram weight through the tension detector. Keep the weight still and tighten the rope. Long press Setup. Both the detected and set values were 25 kilograms. Automatic tension system setting is complete. Automatic tension system is set up the English interface. Click on Setup. Enter the password 0100. Click the down arrow continuously. Select 12 system setting. Select 00. Language. Select English. Click Exit to return. Setup is complete. Display the English interface. Hydraulic paper rack. Press the material and the material button to check the material. Swing on for smooth operation. If there is no exception, check whether the oil gauge pressure is 500 to 1000 PS, 10 at the lowest end. If the loading arm is stuck, adjust the cylinder knob. On the paper, open the air surge shaft buckle. Move the air surge shaft to the upper material swing arm. Long press the feed down button and drop the gas surge shaft. Pass the surge shaft through the paper roll. Long press the feed button to move the paper roll to the upper rack and lock the buckle on both sides. Lateral location of the raw material. Adhesive width plus paperback side width plus a half paperback face width equal to paperback center. Distance of paper roll side from wallboard equal wide center below paperback distance from wallboard minus binding width minus paperback side width minus paperback face width divide 2. The center position of the paperback should be in same plane as that of the host center position. After the position of the paper roll is set correctly, inflate the air surge shaft. Molding department. Disassemble and assemble forming template. Remove the front and rear clip disc outside. Remove the bolts of the template connector and remove the template connector. Release the fixing screw for the formwork fixing beam and remove the formwork together with the formwork fixing beam. Release the template fixing screws. Remove the original template, changing with the required face-wide template. Lock the template fixing screws. Install the formwork and formwork retaining beam back and pre-tighten the screws. Adjust the template toe to the center of the machine and lock the screws. Lock the fixing screws of the formwork retaining beam. Adjust the toe portion of the molding template. Check whether the forming template is aligned with the traction wheel If no, loosen the fixing screws. Relax the fixing cap of the adjustment screws. Turn the adjustment screw clockwise to improve the toe of the molding template. Turn the adjustment screw counterclockwise to reduce the toe of the forming template. After the setting, relock the fixing screw of the adjustment screw. Relock the two fixed screws. Set the press weight and friction wheel. The friction wheel will tighten the self-formed formwork edge of the material inward. Adjust the screw handle to change the length of friction wheel extension and the angle to the forming template. These wheels should be 5 to 10 degrees angle from the host center line. Increase or reduce the count weight on the friction wheel as required. Set the height of the clip disc. Check that the clip disc is in the center of the two molded templates. If no, relax the height adjustment hand wheel of the supporting retaining frame on the wall of the machine vehicle. Use the height adjustment hand wheel to adjust support retaining wheel as required, and lock the height adjustment hand wheel after the adjustment. Set the lateral position of the clip disc. Turn the clip disc and adjust the hand wheel until the molding template edge is aligned to the correct scale on the clip disc. The clip disc should be half paperback side wide. Set the guide rod for the molding template. Adjust the screw handle to change the relative position of the guide rod and the paper cylinder. Correct adjust the guide rod so that the material passes smoothly through the forming template ankle. Wear paper. Close the tension and raise the traction wheel. Pull the paper roll over the roll section according to the specified path to straighten the paper roll completely. Lift the friction wheel of the molding part. Before the paper roll enters the forming part, fold the front end of the paper roll. Pull the paper roll out for a distance. Point the paper back at the center of the host machine and pull the paper screw under the forming template. Fold the material under the forming template so that the width under the paper cylinder. One hand holds the paper roll above the template. One hand pulls the paper roll under the template, and the lower hand vigorously pulls the paper roll forward until you pull the paper roll to the traction wheel and put it down. Reopen the tension. Start traction wheel at low speed. Remove the paper from the traction wheel and ask an assistant to pull the paper. Set the tension to the appropriate size. When adjusting, the preset value is equal to the detection value. Turn on the automatic tension value. Drop the friction wheel in turn. Measure whether the side value is the preset value. If not, you can turn the clip edge disc to adjust the hand wheel for fine-tuning. Set the side groove device. The knob of the edge groove device has 3 states. When the edge groove device does not work, the edge groove device is always working. When the operation state of the edge groove device automatically follows the operation state of the device. The coating of the edge device is about 1 mm away from the roller. Rotate the side groove to adjust the hand wheel, which can move the applicator horizontally on the drum and move applicator to the edge of paper cylinder. Adjust the knob on the applicator clockwise to adjust the amount of groove. Adjust the knob on the applicator counterclockwise and adjust the amount of groove. Post department. Adjust the lateral position of the traction wheel. Turn the knob and raise the upper traction wheel. Relax the retaining top wire of the upper seat traction wheel. Slide the traction wheel until the traction wheel presses to the paper roll of 20 to 30 mm. Lock the fixed top wire. Adjust the air pressure of the traction wheel. Turning the pressure regulator knob counterclockwise allows you to reduce the cylinder pressure. Turning the pressure regulator knob clockwise allows you to increase the cylinder pressure. Set the cylinder pressure to 40 to 60 psi, with the pressure on front and rear the same. Pick the paper pool. In the case of the uneven side edge of the paper cylinder, the upper layer or the lower layer can align the side edge of the paper cylinder. Install cutting knife. Relax the screws of the fixing block. Install the cutter into the fixed blocks. The vertical side of the cutter must be at the front edge of the rotation direction, and the inclined side must be at the rear edge of the operation direction. The protruding length of the cutting knife is generally 5 to 6 mm. Lock the screws of the fixing block. Align the upper and lower seats. Relax the retaining screws of the rear gear hub to engage the upper seat trim roller from the gear. Manually rotate the roller in the upper seat to align the blade plane with the center line of the cutting module opening. Lock the retaining screws for the rear gear hub. Cut off the drum oranging set. Point to turn the machine. When the cutter aligns the cut module, the oranging is set on the touch screen. Set the lateral position of the transfer roller. Relax the fixed screws of the transfer roller and move the transfer roller horizontally. Make sure the transfer roller can be pressed to 4 layers of paper cylinder. Move the lower seat transfer roller to the upper seat transfer roller. Lock the retaining screws of the transfer roller. Adjust the pressure of the transmission roller. Press the paper cylinder at the higher part of the upper seat transfer roller. Relax the fixing screws of the front and rear adjustment screws. Increase the pressure by turning the screw clockwise and turn it counterclockwise to reduce the pressure. After the front and rear rollers are adjusted to the same pressure, pull the paper cylinder to confirm that the transfer roller can press the paper cylinder. Relock the fixing screws of the front and rear adjustment screws. Adjust the time point for the transmission roller and the cut. Relax the screws on the rear gear of the transmission roller so that the upper seat transmission roller can rotate freely. Turn the machine manually until the cutter is about to cut off the paper tube. Turn the upper seat transfer roller manually so that the front edge of the higher portion of the transfer roller just press the paper cylinder. Lock the retaining screws of the gear hub. Install the press knife. Place the press knife into the folding slot. Lock the compression line to fix the screws. Replace the press module. Relax the fixing screws of the compressor module. Replace appropriate size compression line module. Lock the pressing cord module with the retaining screws. Adjust the first upper folding knife to the first lower thread. Relax the gear hub located at the front side of the upper seat compression line roller on the rear side of the machine. Turn the machine manually so that the first folding line module of the lower seat pressing line roller is just between the folding line axes of the upper and lower seats. Manual turn the upper seat roller to align the first cut at the center position of the first trench. Keep the position still and lock the screws of the front gear wheel drum. Adjust the second fold line blade and the second fold line trench. Relax the hexagonal screws on the folding cable transmission roller and the fixed screws on the outside of the folding roller. The second folding knife can rotate freely to adjust the position until the second fold blade is aligned to the second fold trench. Lock the hexagonal screw on the transmission roller. Check and lock the fixing screws on the outside of the folding roller. Set the lateral position of the piercer roller transmission disc. Relax the fixed screws of the pressure line transmission disc. Move the disc sideways so that the outside of the disc is just inside the medial edge fold line. Lock the fixed screw conveying the disc wheel drum. Move the lower transmission disc similarly to align the upper seat transmission roller. Adjust the pressure of the transfer disc of the pipe pressure roller. Relax the fixing screws of the front and rear adjustment screws. Turn the adjustment screw clockwise to increase the pressure. Turn the adjustment screw counterclockwise to reduce the pressure. Pull the paper cylinder to confirm that the transmission roller can press the paper cylinder. Check and lock the fixed screws of the front and rear adjustment screws. Adjust the open edge mechanical finger of the compressor roller. Release the fixing screws of the open edge mechanical finger seat and move the mechanical paper retaining seat so that the mechanical finger tip is about 3 mm from the outer edge of the paper tube. Rock the open side mechanical means the screws of the retaining seat. Adjust the shape of the mechanical finger so that the mechanical finger can smoothly open the clip part of the paper tube, so that the paper tube smoothly forward to the guide plate. Check the position of the first fold and the first clip of the drum wheel. Check the relative position of the first fold of the drum and the first clip of the drum wheel. The first fold line must be about 2 to 3 mm before the first clip line of the drum wheel. Please verify that the distance is correct, and if not, adjust. Relax the rear gear screws of the lower seat compression line roller. Turn the piezo roller manually. Make the pressure roller forward or back to the correct position. Rock the rear gear screw of the lower seat compressor roller. Adjust back length. On the paper tube, the distance between the first indentation to the top of the paper tube is the paper bag height, and the distance between the first indentation to the bottom end of the paper tube is the folding length. The bag length adjustment was increased or reduced on the touch screen based on the difference between the measured height of the paper bag and the actual paper bag height. After the adjustment, walk through at least 3 paper bags and check the height of 4th paper bag. If the measured height is still different from the height of the paper bag, please adjust it again. Set the side position of the open button roller. Relax the screws on the button drum can retaining seat. Move the button drum to the side and move the button drum to 2 mm from the edge of the paper cylinder. Rock the screws. Arranging setting of the button drum. Point to turn the machine. Make the open clamp aim at the paper tube. Set the arranging of the open button roller on the touch screen. Adjust the button roller. Check the position of the open button mechanical finger clamped on the paper tube for a clip under the first folding line. If the position lags behind the first line, increase the button adjustment on the touch screen. If the position is ahead of the first fold line, the open button adjustment is reduced on the touch screen. Adjust the release position of the button mechanical finger. If the button of the bag is not fully open, the adjustment hand wheel must be rotated clockwise. If the paper tube will be torn, the adjustment hand wheel should be rotated counterclockwise. When the can is properly positioned, the button of the bag should be fully unfolded without being torn. Adjust the open button auxiliary pressure level. Relax the screws of the auxiliary press rod holder. Turn the fixed frame to align the auxiliary pressure bar with the second folding line. Rock the screws. Adjust the back button folder. Turn the machine so that the back is just below the button folder. Relax the fixed seat screw of the folding copper plate and slide the fixed seat along the axis so that the inner surface of the folding copper plate at the bottom of the bag is about 6 mm from the side edge of the paper bag. Rock up the fixed seat. Relax the folding copper plate fixing screws. Adjust the position of the button folded copper plate of the bag so that the open button of the bag just touches the folded copper plate, and start to press under the bag. Rock the screw after the adjustment. Relax the fixed seat screw of the folding guide rock and slide the fixed seat along the shaft center so that the button of the bag can expand smoothly. The shape of the folding guide can be appropriately adjusted if necessary. Paper bag flat guide plate. Relax the screws on the retaining seat. Move the pressing bar to fix the seat so that the pressing iron is located at a distance of about 3 to 5 mm outside the adhesive shape of the button of the bag. Screws of the retaining seat of the rocking pressure bar. Second spider synchronous adjustment fixture for the drum wheel fixture. Relax the fixed screw of the synchronous adjustment fixing frame of the second fixture and turn the synchronous adjustment fixing frame of the second drum wheel fixture. The correct spacing should be the button size of the bag minus 11 mm. Rock the fixing screws on the front side of the drum wheel to secure the synchronous adjustment fixture of the second drum wheel fixture in the correct position. Install cushion block. Select the maximum size of the pad that can be placed. The striping groove of the pad is aligned with the striping groove of the drum wheel. Rock the screw. Install the other two groups of pads similarly. Adjust the drum wheel mechanical finger. Turn the machine manually so that the mechanical finger of the first station can reach the top of the drum wheel. Relax the fixed screws of the fixing frame of the drum wheel mechanism. Move the fixing frame of the drum wheel mechanical finger along the axis so that the mechanical fingertip of the drum wheel intersect with the width of the required surface. Rock the screws on the drum wheel. Set the synchronous adjustment holder for the center clip finger. Reducing the length of the paper bag length is the length of the first fold. Note the length of the first fold as the position of the center finger. Turn the machine manually to clip the center finger at the top of the drum wheel. Relax the center clip refers to the hexagonal screw of the fixing bracket. The distance between the top of the center clip to the first clip is the length of 3 to 5 mm at the bottom of the bag. Rock the screw after adjustment. Adjust the position of the paper tube guide plate. Relax the fixed screws of the paper tube guide plate. Move the guide plate along the axis so that the lower end of the guide plate enters the 20 to 30 mm side of the paper cylinder, and the upper end of the guide plate is about 3 mm away from the mechanical tip of the drum wheel. Rock the screws. The center clip refers to the release time. When the first fold in knife pushes the first fold line into the drum first clamp, the can slave wheel just contacts the front edge of the can. Relax the fixed screw cap of the can. Move the can to the correct position along the positioning pin. Rock the fixed screw cap. Install the button of the bag. Cut the soft cushion on the foam material according to the required groove shape. Place the foam pad on the appropriate position of the groove roller. Turn the machine to check whether the groove is normal. If no, repass the sponge soft pad to the appropriate position. Gel setting. Turn the groove adding button to the manual, when the button groove will be manually grooved. Turn the groove adding button to the automatic, when the button groove will be automatically grooved. Install the first and second folding knives. The length of the first folding knife is the paper bag surface width of plus 5 mm. Fold the first knife into the knife between the rack spring. Adjust the first folding knife so that the folding knife is parallel to the knife fold holder and extend the appropriate distance. Rock the bolts and fix the first folding knife. Install the second folding knife similarly. Adjust the time from the folding knife to the drum wheel clamp. Relax the fixing bolt on the second folding knife holder to adjust the operation time of the folding knife to the drum wheel clamp. Slowly turn the machine so that the second clamp of the drum wheel is located on the center line of the drum shaft and folded into the knife shaft. Turn the second folding knife by hand to be close to the second clamper of the open drum wheel, so that the folding knife just crosses the rear edge when the second clamper of the drum wheel is opened. If necessary, the drum wheel can be turned slightly to set the correct second folding knife position. Rock the bolts for the second fold into the knife holder. If the first folding knife needs to be adjusted, the method is the same as the above. Install protective bars. Install the guard on the shaft. After the correct installation of the guard should protect the bag to the surface of the drum wheel, but do not affect the back button fold. Joint button device. When the fold approaches the back button closing plate, close the button roller enabling on the touch screen. The button of the back should slightly contact the ungrooved part on the inner surface of the fold. Open the enabling of the button roller on the touch screen and confirm the position of the button roller. The button roller changes rapidly. If the button size of the made bag is greater than or equal to 100 mm, please open or close the roll change speed. On the touch screen, enter the parameter setting interface. Click on the button with 5-star and enter the password 6666. Open the variable speed. Point the machine while closing the roll to the position of the first screw of the copper bar. Set the origin of the closing roll on the touch screen. Adjust the second clamshell release can. Turn the machine so that the button roller just through the second clip. Check if second gripper slave roller touches the rising portion of the second gripper release can, and adjust if no. Relax the can retaining screw on the front of the wall and move the drum second clamp to release the can to the correct position. Rock the screw cap and secure the can position. Adjust the pressure of the distribution wheel. Click Split Cylinder on the touch screen. Extinguish the split cylinder button and relax the fixed screw cap of the front and rear stop screw. Turn the stop screw clockwise to increase the pressure, or turn the stop screw counterclockwise to reduce the pressure. Rock the fixing screw cap of the stop screw. Click Split Cylinder on the touch screen to light up the split cylinder button. Turn the machine to make a bag completely between the transfer and drum wheels. Pull the bag and confirm the slight resistance on the bag. There's a gap of at least 1 mm between the distribution wheel and the surface of the big drum. Collection department. Adjust the disc. Turn the machine in inch to get the bag out of the synchronous belt. Increase or reduce the collection adjustments on the touch screen. The gap between the disc is pointed out of the bag. Adjust the bag block. Relax both two baffle retaining screws. Move the bag baffle to fit inside or out depending on the width of the bag surface. Rock the screws.